Hey guys, my name's Odo, and today I have a pretty fun and effective repeater build for you because lately I've not been having fun playing repeaters, so I had to come up with something that had a lot of attack speed and also did pretty decent damage. So this is what I came up with. The name of the build is going to be Deagle Doe, because reasons. Going into the build itself, we have repeaters with either +2 or +3 evasive fury, and a +3 swift cell. And for the customization of the repeaters, we have the ballistic chamber, admiral's grip, and searing prism. For the gear, we have the Koshai helmet with +3 molten, the scorchstone chest piece with +3 predator, Koshai grips with +3 rage hunter, and the Koshai legs and the drastic fury lantern with +3 conduit. So overall, this build is strong on behemoths that don't have long overpower states or stagger states, because you won't be bringing overpower in this build. It wouldn't be worth it. So instead, it's really strong on behemoths that are fast paced. And I've chosen 4 behemoths that I really enjoy this build on, except the 4th one is Koshai, and I won't really show too much of how to fight that one because it's kind of bugged right now, and it's not really helpful. But let's go ahead and take a look at the first behemoth this build is strong on, which is Heroic Ragetail Gnasher. For this fight, depending on how fast you kill it, it does not matter what barrel you bring, but if you have like a longer fight than most people do, bring a fire barrel because it'll probably proc during the fight and it'll do some damage and help you out. As for the fight itself, I suggest bringing concussive grenades to interrupt the DM slide to give yourself another window for DPS. And during that window, focus the face or the legs because those two pieces are very easy to hit and they don't have a ton of HP to them. Now, whenever Gnasher starts enraging, you want to get an empowered reload before it starts this phase, so you can DPS it through the entirety of the enrage, and hopefully either get a part really weak or maybe even break it. And normally after the enrage, it does a little booty slam, and during that booty slam, you can DPS it through that as well, which is very, very good because you can actually break apart during that if you're lucky. Aside from that, just dodge its single tail swipe and its double tail swipe. And for the double tail swipe, if you dodge the first swing of that, you don't have to dodge the second, which is kind of nice. But be very careful because a lot of times it won't register the first dodge in some cases depending on how you dodge, and you'll still get hit, so be careful. Moving on to the next behemoth, we have Rezakiri, and this boss is insanely good for repeaters, just because most weapons can't even hit it during a lot of attacks, which is why repeaters are very, very strong on this boss. Also, when fighting this boss, bring the Umbral barrel because Reza is a Radiant behemoth and Umbral is strong against Radiant. Also, if you bring this barrel and you have this transmog, you will feel like Princess Leia from Star Wars with a blaster. It's awesome, just saying. Anyway, for this fight, be sure to shoot Reza to figure out where your molten's gonna land, reload, and then pick it up so you can have that initial DPS increase because of your attack speed. And you have to make sure you're dodging into Reza's dropdown attack so you can maintain evasive fury. And on top of that, whenever Reza does do a dropdown attack, it's a really good window to get an empowered reload, use your right click and your Q, because it won't be able to attack you in the time it takes to do its abilities. When it comes to focusing break parts, I suggest the face as the easiest part to hit, especially, then comes the arms, and lastly the tail gem. And if you want to, you can hit the legs, but they are somewhat hard to break sometimes, so I mostly suggest the face, the arms, and the tail gem. And something that can be very important during this fight is that Reza has a couple different tail swipe variations, but you want to make sure you get hit by a tail swipe variation that does a certain sound effect, because if you get hit, you won't get trapped in the bubble prison, and instead you can DPS Reza for free, and in most cases kill it during that phase. Now for a little disclaimer, Reza also does a very similar move, if not the exact move, when it's running away, so sometimes you might get hit for nothing, so just don't blame me. I'm trying to help you guys out, but it can be difficult to know which one is which when it comes to these movesets, so yeah. For the last behemoth in this video, we have Heroic Shockjaw and Izaga, and for this behemoth, you should bring the Blizzard Barrel because it's weak to Frost. When you're fighting Shockjaw, it will almost always shoot electricity at you, and I suggest dodging through this, and then shooting Shockjaw, and then DPSing Shockjaw through this phase, but don't pick up your Molten until it does its DM slides to and fro. And when it comes Fro, then you can pick up your Molten and have a longer attack buff because your Molten will proc again while you already have the buff going, which is really good. And for the parts to focus on Shockjaw, I suggest the face and the arms, especially if you're using your ballistic chamber, because if you shoot that, it'll mostly hit the face and splash the arms anyway, so they'll be taking more damage throughout the fight regardless. Oh, and one big tip for this boss is that if you stay close to the face throughout the fight, it will normally not put out pylons. And that will make the fight so much easier because you want to focus on dodging the orbs and Shockjaw's attacks at the same time. But other than that, I would say just watch out for the waffle move, which is whenever it like jumps on its side and slams the ground, and the very immediate DM slide, because those are really hard to dodge. And I actually got lucky by breaking Shockjaw's arm when he did the waffle move on me, so it didn't do damage. But I didn't get lucky on the DM slide. So there's that. And with that, guys, that is the end of another video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button because it helps other people see it and it helps me out a lot. And if you want to see more Dauntless content, subscribe to the channel because that's what I cover. And other than that, guys, thank you again for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.